And it looks like we are live. Plenty of data rate going out to the YouTube servers. Mind Your Biz community, welcome back. My name is Seth.
And I'm Mrs. Mind Your Biz.
And today we've got plenty of news. We've actually got like 6 or 7 articles. We're going to quickly go through all of that. We've also got the Fear and Greed Index. Should we hit them with it?
Oh, yeah.
Or should we hit them with a red screen?
Oh, red screen first.
Red screen. Hey, the lady has spoken. Got to remind you that this is still a fun red screen.
Yes, I like this one.
But apparently, I mean, people need to be reminded that this is not meant to be legal financial business investing. Child rearing, childbirth, natural childbirth, any kind of personal advice, anything that you might feel like you have some kind of liability where you think, hey, why did you steer me astray? We weren't trying to steer you at all. We're actually just trying to help educate you and entertain you. That's the whole point. But it's also a treacherous market, right? That's the thing.
Yes, it is.
Cryptocurrency is not for the faint of heart. So we realize there's some risk inherent in cryptocurrency. So just be smart, right? Be smart. Current Fear and Greed Index. Mama Biz, what do you see here?
Okay, we're up to 68 today. That's up from yesterday, which was at 62, and up from last month, which was at 33. So
yeah,
people are getting happy with crypto.
Yes, they are. That's the 1 month trend right there, though. It's kind of funny because it was just barely before the beginning of last month. We've got to go to the 3 month trend, I think, to actually see just how extreme that shift was.
Yeah.
But we've kind of been in neutrality for a while, and there was really kind of a dip into fear in the middle of March or the early part of March, and then it kind of went back up towards this in-between range above 50.
Yeah.
So people have been feeling pretty optimistic about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrencies for a while.
Yeah, but I think 68 is the highest it's been since I started doing live streams with you.
Yes, it definitely is. And it was much lower before, right? We've seen it kind of dip over the last quarter, right? Last 3 months. But my take on it. It's a trailing indicator. It's not necessarily the current absolute state of things. I think that in order for us to get a little bit more of that sort of source of truth for the markets, we need to go far beyond just seeing that one number there. Also, I see that our like counts are going up. Our concurrent views are going up. Thank you so much for being here and being supportive. Do hit that thumbs up and do share the link while we're live. It makes a difference. And this is the format that we do when we're getting ready to travel, which we are doing today. Mm-hmm. This is Mind Your Biz. Where are we headed to?
New York, New York.
Oh, yeah. We are headed to New York. And what are we going to go do?
We are going to NFT NYC.
That is correct. We're going to a trade show, NFT NYC. And we are going on a media pass. I should just mention, there are several of your favorite crypto YouTubers, several of your favorite personalities who were denied a media pass at NFT NYC. We were granted a media pass in under 24 hours. Did you know that? This is Mind Your Biz?
I did not know that.
Yeah, now you know. We were granted a media pass in under 24 hours, so we'll be there checking out the behind the scenes at NFT NYC. We'll also be going to a special event on... My mind is still blown because I don't want to overcommit, but we're going to a special event on 47th Street, New York City's, at this point, historic Diamond District. So I can't wait to bring behind the scenes footage of that back to the Mind Your Biz community and kind of check it out. It's going to be debuting on Twitter as well. But basically, this is the sort of thing that for most people is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we're being openly invited to go and check this out behind the scenes. Like, I am so humbled and so honored that we get to do this.
Diamonds.
Yes. Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, this is an area of New York that is very well established. That whole don't make new friends. We don't make new friends. That very much describes this crowd. These are people who have very well established business interests in one of the oldest areas of New York. And I'm just flattered that we get to go and be a part of this. So hit that thumbs up if you want to see more of that. I need my Call of Duty. Yo, MYB. Got a like from me. And then Paul D says, I was first. I saw your Twitter MySpace thing. I don't understand Twitter. Chia. Hey, that's great. I don't understand Twitter either. I just use it. It's kind of like, jumping into a race car. You can drive an old beat up Lamborghini, can make it and put a new wrap on it. And it looks really cool, right? That's kind of like Twitter right now. It's an old beat up Lamborghini. It's got a new wrap, new coat of paint on it. And I think sometimes they change the symbol from a bird to a doge. So
which apparently upset some of the board members of Twitter.
It did apparently. I mean, it did upset not only some board members of Twitter. You know who it really upset? Bitcoin maximalists.
Oh.
They were like, "Why would you change the logo of Twitter to a Doge instead of a Bitcoin?"
You know what I have to say about that?
What?
Cry more. Seriously.
Your salty tears fuel Mrs. Mind Your Biz. That's right. She is absolutely empowered by your sadness. Keep hating, haters. Hey, I see that view count going up. Thank you so much for visiting us while we're here on Mind Your Biz. This is our mobile format. We hopefully will be able to do another live stream, maybe two, while we are at NFT NYC. No guarantees. We don't know.
Promises.
We do not know what the connection situation is going to look like over there.
And it gets very busy.
ETH Denver was an absolute sucker punch.
Oh, yeah.
No connection at all. Even the vendors.
I mean, the place was like, the location, the venue is a place where they sell cattle.
Yeah.
It was very rustic.
Yeah, right.
It was nice. I mean, I didn't mind it, but it was,
Yeah.
a little more reclusive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected. These are very sort of Spartan events when you go to some of those places. Stereo 2 is in the chat. Hey, good to see you. He says, good to see you guys. I apologize, Stereo 2. We were not able to make it to Las Vegas for a couple of the more recent events. We intended to, because of where we're positioned in the United States, we intended to stop by Las Vegas, stop by the studio, go say hello to the Sin City Crypto crew because they are amazing. We intended to stop by.
The weather had other ideas.
Yeah, I apologize. It wasn't going to be, and if it wasn't NFT in LA, it was going to be for spring break with the family. Going to stop by, but then we got snowed into the Intermountain West, and when you're in like the Vale area, or but you don't push through the snow. You just grab a snowboard instead.
Which is what we did.
It's just what you do, right? And we're
screw
fortunate.
this. We're going skiing.
Yeah, right. Like you can't go fishing. You have to go ice fishing anyway. So let's jump back into that news though. And I apologize. It's a little bit rough how some of the motion of that works. But crypto bubbles. Mrs. Mind Your Biz. What do you see? What stands out to you?
RNDR and XRD. Oh, and Doge is down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of. Well, I think it's probably.
sad.
I think it's retracing from the last. No, this is the 1 week view, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bummer. So apparently that attempt at market manipulation was not met with success.
Oh, Elon having a hard time, or should I say Harry Balls?
Yeah, Harry Balls.
Yes, Balls. Harry Balls.
Yeah. Was that an umlaut that he put on that character's name?
I don't know. He just changed his name for a couple hours yesterday to Harry Balls.
It's pretty great. And then he, with the message, impersonating people is bad. Okay. It was pretty great, actually. One of the best things. Yeah. So let's take a look again at Yankee says he's all in on Doge. That retracement has got him very, very bullish on Doge. Hey, I support that message. Greed is good. Greed, for lack of a better term, is good. So render token up. XRD. This is Radix, and pretty amazing. It's not your traditional blockchain. They got some pretty amazing tech, actually. So it is one of the stronger fundamental projects. Wouldn't be shocked if in the next bull run it winds up breaking that $1 billion market cap. But here it is still in the bear at $500 million. It's relatively strong fundamentals. Caspa is down. It's been retracing, right? It's kind of back and forth, and I don't have particularly strong feelings on Caspa. I really don't. But it is noteworthy because it's a proof of work project that you can solo mine and still get rewards. You can pool mine it. You can still get rewards.
Well, it's the only thing that seemed profitable for miners for a while, right?
Right. And that's probably still true right now. So it's worth mentioning. But I don't have super strong emotions because, I didn't marry my bags, so to speak. So I'm not going to be a permabull on Caspa because we're not underwater on Caspa bags, and I'm not stressing about like, oh, I wasted 3 months mining this coin, so it has to go up. Number has to go up. No, please, number go up. Anyway, so but it's retracing, and that's to be expected. It's just going to keep doing this. It's always a sawtooth pattern. But it is in the top 100. It has been for a little while now. In fact, this morning when I checked, it was in the 80s. It hadn't even broken into the 70-ish range. So being ranked number 79, it's gaining ground, even though it's lost a little bit of its price over the last week. it's gaining ground. So yeah, up over the last month and really melting a lot of faces. People weren't expecting it. And I don't know how sustainable that is. We'll see. Price action, it's not always tied to fundamentals. It's usually tied to narratives. So we'll see how that plays out. Stacks Protocol, they're going to be heavily represented at NFT NYC, market cap of over $1 billion, and they are pretty closely tied to ordinals. Some of the ordinals wallets use them, so that makes sense. Injective also, very great project. Spoke with them at ETH Denver, and hopefully we'll see them at NFT NYC as well. If not, then I might see them at Consensus. Still don't have solid plans as to whether or not I'm going to Austin for Consensus. We'll see. Okay. But yeah, if I do, then probably get an interview with them. Very impressed with what they're building or what they have built. Solana back up, Clayton, Kava, these other projects that are, you're probably not following. Casper Network, much more centralized, right? Their whole feature is that they have editable smart contracts, dynamic smart contracts. That kind of feels like an oxymoron. A blockchain with dynamic smart contracts feels like an oxymoron. I'm not sure if that's the right design choice fundamentally for a blockchain project, but that's their design choice. It's their key distinguishing feature.
Okay.
But we've got, let's see, we've got questions in the chat about XRP going to 0. Sadly, it has not yet. We'll see. Mining Ergo, number definitely not going up there on Ergo. Yeah, Ergo, however, it is one of those relatively small, strong fundamental projects. Don't want to get too mired in our chat right now, but oh, hey, people are sharing the link. Hey, thank you so much. Casper Network has ghosts. Yes, confirmed. It's a spooky, spooky project. Spooky how good they're doing. Ooh. But we got some other projects that are in the red. Another one that's noted that's kind of related to Doge, not directly, but Shiba Inu. Very, very popular. Very popular, but it's down. And then Uniswap also down. Here's the thing. DEXs don't need governance tokens. Let me repeat that. A DEX does not need a governance token. It needs fees. That's it. It needs fees, and that's it. Most decentralized autonomous organizations are fake. Most of them are Dino, right? Decentralized in name only. They're not really doing anything. And so, yeah, a lot of those just don't make sense at all. We got the Deadwood in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us right now. And thank you so much for those calls to do an AMA with projects on Twitter. I hope you are enjoying the Keystone wallet that you won in our giveaway, because it was my pleasure to conduct the giveaway. My pleasure to see a member of the community get that wallet. Let's take a look at more of our news, though. Quick price action. This is Bitcoin's chart. This is the simple mining chopsticks that you know and love here on Mind Your Biz. And lo and behold,
up and away.
The channel that we drew, it's been pretty helpful, hasn't it? Been pretty useful. It's not perfect, but it did wind up kind of giving us some indication of where it could perform. And yeah, having it break out to the upside, I wonder how sustainable this is. We've got that strong price action up to 30K. This is where the disclaimer is needed. I'm not going to pretend to be able to tell you how to trade on the short term. If you want to figure out how to trade on the short term, if you want to figure out how to read these charts for that skill set, then you need to go with CryptoCred. Has a long running series on how to read all of the charts. It's going on like 4 years. The CryptoCred has been giving away that information for free. It's just an educational series. Or if you want to read the charts on a regular basis and make more sense of them, then go subscribe to my good friend, Tom Crown. We'll be traveling with Tom Crown.
Yes.
Yeah. When?
In May?
In May, yeah. We'll be in Eastern Europe. We'll be right on the border of Russia. In fact. Yeah, we just looked at the map.
What could go wrong?
We're going to be like 5 miles from the border of Russia.
Don't say that.
So, I'm saying it. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. Good times. I'm only going to be 2 orders away from Andrew Tate. Yes, we're going to the old world. Going to the old country. This will be fun. Fun times. Diablo asks, CryptoCred. Yes, CryptoCred. That is I believe it's CryptoCred that has the series. It's pretty good stuff, actually. I did download it offline on one of my tablets for when we flew to Bali, because we had a lot of time in the air, a whole lot of time in the air. I think our longest flight in the air was like 18 hours, 20 hours. It's a very long flight. Or was it only 14? I'm misremembering.
There was one part, I'm sorry, I thought it was like 10 and then 4 or something because we...
No, I think we were routed differently. The point is that I downloaded this series. It was really good. And I still don't feel like I'm an expert, right? This is not what I do full time. I'm much more strongly drawn to fundamental analysis, much more strongly drawn to building and developing business in the blockchain space. I just think that there's so much opportunity for people who want to create something and who want to transfer their current skill set into a crypto-oriented business, whether you're Bitcoin only or you want to be involved in privacy and you're maybe Monero only. So much opportunity. Paul D says, sneak some borscht back from near the border. Savor the authenticity and danger.
Borscht.
You know, that's true. They don't make beet juice here like they do over there. It must be different.
I bet it tastes better.
I bet it's also kind of mixed in with, so there's got to be some radioactive isotopes in the soil over there that enrich it more.
And just a touch of vodka.
Yeah. I mean, hey, there you go. The missus is giving permission to sample some vodka infused borscht.
That sounds disgusting, actually.
Yeah. The sacrifices I make for you gentlemen, the sacrifices. Can you hear? This is the struggle. This is what I live with. What has my life become? But looking at our chart again, I think the chopsticks have been very instructive, seeing that upward trend. It's kind of funny that somebody DM'd me to slam these charts when we were right about here. Point is, this is a one-day chart. We're not going to do any kind of significant trades based on this, so don't sweat it. Really don't sweat the small stuff. If you're like me, you're more of a fundamental guy, then you're not doing high-frequency trading anyway. Certainly don't do high-frequency trading with leverage. You will get wrecked. You will lose money. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no chance of it not losing money. You will lose money using high frequency leverage trades. The question is how frequently, and is that your plan? If you want to be a full-time trader, then you'll have to resign yourself to the fact that you'll lose money, and it becomes part of your business plan. But yeah, not here. I don't like losing money. Is that bad?
Not at all.
If I can avoid it, I don't want to like losing money. Not a good feeling. Gundy Stephen Thing says, hey, you need to smash them likes for this free knowledge. And Yankee doesn't want to be told what to do. Hey, I appreciate that too. Be free. Be free. Be dangerous and free. But let's move on to our first news article. What's the headline here?
Ooh, borrowing against NFTs is now a $1 billion industry. 1 billion to be exact. What's next?
Oh my gosh. Borrowing against NFTs. So apparently, people who borrow against NFTs, it has just crossed the $1 billion mark. Many are left wondering who's using their JPEG as collateral in this market. In this economy, borrowing against your JPEGs. Yeah, this kind of makes sense to me. How about you?
I'm still wrapping my head around it.
Got it. Fair enough.
It explains to me why the IRS suddenly wants to tax NFTs.
Well, loans shouldn't be taxable. That's just it. Even like they want to tax capital gains, but that only applies. I mean, hey, no, this is not financial advice or whatever. Go talk to your CPA. They can only tax capital gains once you've realized a taxable event. Once you've sold and you've realized that gain, they can then tax it, at least according to their rules. If you borrow money against it, not a taxable event. Mm-hmm. In fact, the interest that you pay on loans is itself a tax write-off. So not only do you avoid creating a capital gains tax event, you also improve your ability to generate more write-offs and harvest more losses for your next year's taxes.
Okay, so we need some kind of tax loop for NFTs like they have in real estate. What is it, the 1049? Is that the right one I'm thinking of? That you sell it, but then you buy something else in a short amount of time for more.
Is that the 1049? 1049? Is it 1049 or 1031 exchange?
1031. I don't remember the number. All I know is the way it functions, which is that you sell something, but then like within the year you buy another thing with that money at a greater price, and then it's not taxed.
Well, there you go.
We need to do that with NFTs. That's all I'm saying.
That makes sense. You would want to do that, of course. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not shocked at all that people are wanting to borrow. I mean, the moment that the IRS made that announcement that they wanted to start taxing NFTs the same way that you tax other collectibles like fine art, it seemed inevitable that there would be some pushback and that people would figure out a way to work the system, right? Don't cheat the system, just work the system, right? Obey every law to your advantage, right? I would never tell anybody to break the law if they didn't have to, right? Obey every just law and work it to your advantage, of course. And of course, by definition, tax laws are not laws, they are code, right? They're code, they're policies.
Yes.
Not laws per se, they are policies, which is a very different thing, in my opinion, right? Do your own research, be very careful. Don't take what I'm saying here as legal advice.
Or go to jail.
Yeah, that'd be a very sad thing. Never go to jail.
Blame us. No.
Yeah. I'm afraid we might not even be able to talk to you anymore. Legally, it might not even be possible for me to talk to you anymore if you go to jail because of something that you did that was a silly thing. So yeah, don't do that. Don't ever do that. But let's go back to our news segments. Stablecoin issuers. The conglomerates are targeted by the IMF after crypto's rough year. What do you think?
I think I don't know what IMF means.
The IMF is the International Monetary Fund.
Okay, so not Impossible Mission
Force, yeah.
Force.
You're thinking, yeah, you're Mission Impossible, right?
Okay.
Yeah, good old Tom Cruise, confusing everyone for, what, 40 years now? Anyway.
40 years?
30 years.
Really?
He's been active for quite some. Anyway, the point is, it's not the Impossible Mission Force. So, yes, it published a global financial stability report on Tuesday, and they joined the standard setters at the Financial Stability Board in calling for consistent international regulation of the cryptocurrency sector after a year that has seen a number of collapses of major exchanges and crypto-related banks.
Yes.
Well, the crypto-related banks were shut down by regulators. They didn't fail, per se.
No.
They were on the brink of failure. They really were. Any moment now. It's a house of cards.
Supposedly Signature was solvent. At least its crypto branch or its digital branch was solvent. And FTX was all linked up with regulators, wasn't he? Like, oh, I'm trying to keep this on the up and up.
Oh, yeah. No.
Which is, I guess, why it took so long to arrest him. But yeah, sure.
piece of work.
It's because crypto itself is inherently bad.
Yeah, basically.
I'm sure that's what the problem is there.
Yeah. Paul D is also dropping some alpha, saying if you challenge a person you decide is the IRS to a gentlemanly fight and win, you don't have to pay taxes that year. I read that on the internet.
That means it must be true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds reasonable. I think, though, when you challenge them to a gentlemanly fight, you need to use the term fisticuffs or it bears no legal weight. So be careful. Don't get wrecked following that terrible advice. Paul D, you might be banned. Maybe. Never talk like that again unless you use the correct terms. Just saying. English. Do you speak it? Fisticuffs. Get it right. All right. Moving on. We got, let's see, additional report. It cites a rough, or in the report, they cite a rough year for crypto. These events add to the questions about the viability of digital assets and reinforce the need for appropriate regulation. F you, mother IMFers. Yeah. I'm so witty. That was great. Jeez. Thank you for laughing at my terrible jokes. Okay.
No problem.
But let's move on. We've got the G20 also basically focusing on crypto. India's presidency and their finance minister is saying that in G20 or India's G20 that they're very focused on crypto. Got all the fast. This is not fast facts. That's like the entire article. Why would you do that? Oh my gosh. So, but apparently they think that they're going to be a very important part of the discussion under the G20 presidency, given so many collapses and shocks. So they're coordinating here. The IMF, we got the IMF in India talking about the same talking points. That's a coordinated assault. And we've got some other headlines that kind of feed into that. This is from Blockworks. I'm reading off that headline for us. You don't have to.
CHOKEPOINT 2.0, efforts to debank crypto, highly effective.
Yeah, well, regional bank collapse is all part of a plan to debank crypto. Well, I mean, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd take that bet. I think so. We also have John Germain in the chat saying, good morning. And Gundy's Stuff and Things saying, I challenge you to fisticuffs. Now, you need to be a little more specific. There are a lot of commenters right now, Gundy's Stuff. And there's also, my wife who's here. Are you challenging my wife? Because I've got to warn you, you're not going to win.
Aha.
She's very dangerous. She doesn't look like it, but it's always the short ones. They're wild. They're crazy. This is not me outright calling for help, but if you don't hear from me for another week, maybe send somebody for a wellness check.
I'm so intimidating.
Yeah, you can tell. It's all in her voice. It's always the quiet ones. But yeah. Apparently, yeah, it has been very, very effective. We kind of know that. Now there's a huge cluster here as far as I'm gonna have to go back to the regular version of this article. But apparently, according to Rob Leschner, founder of Compound Labs, it is happening. It's underway. On that podcast, they spoke to the Blockworks team about debanking phenomenon. Make no mistake, the government wants to kill one of the most innovative segments of the U.S. economy, which is crypto. Yeah, we know that. It's not controversial. There's a coordinated effort to debank the crypto industry, though not entirely normal policy. Yeah, this is cruel and unusual. It is weird. It is an odd targeting. We understand the motivation, but I don't know that we've ever seen any other private sector be picked on by American regulators the same way.
Well, I mean, you've heard me say it before. It's all about our government and the central banks. We're all in cahoots. That's the word I'm going to use, cahoots.
Yeah, cahoots.
Cahoots. And crypto is a threat to central banks. Ergo, the government is going to do everything it can to either get a hold on crypto or make it die.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're going to do everything they can. But yeah, functioning normally, sans crypto. It's a bit of an issue. There are a couple of banks, and I'm just going to come right out and say it. So I've accepted an offer and am now publicly listed as the director of technology at the Emerging Assets Group, which coordinates the efforts of the building team for the gold retriever token, for the BARC token, and then also for Block47, a group of crypto-related companies. So just always have to disclose that. I've got a bit of an interest there, but I've got to say that in what we've researched for other crypto ventures where it makes sense to actually continue to do banking in the United States, there's BNY Mellon. Circle Group has all of their holdings. The majority of the USDC supply is backed by holdings at BNY Mellon. If BNY Mellon has a problem, we're all screwed. It's really that simple. So it's not that it's entirely left the US, it's that they're picking their winners. They're picking their favorites. And USDC and Circle have become American regulators' favorites. So you kind of, if you're gonna try to figure out what your move is to work with American companies, you have to stick with the other groups. You have to bandwagon with the other American crypto groups that regulators are favoring, and they're clearly favoring Circle. They're clearly flocking right to any of the groups that hold some of Circle's holdings. However, Silicon Valley Bank held a not insignificant supply of Circle's holdings that was meant to be, backing for USDC. They were made whole, but the point is, I feel like that was theater, that was saber rattling at first, and now I don't think we're going to see them actually crush every custodian. But there will be some that just totally go by the wayside, and others that are kept whole. Gundy says, I prefer to be my own bank. Hey, I agree. Everybody should make the effort to be their own bank. For those who are trying to put any of their cryptos into so-called dry powder vis-a-vis stables, you have to figure out which stables are actually going to exist. There were problems with UST. There are problems with DAI, even though I really like fundamentally what DAI is supposed to be. There are huge problems with Tether, but it has maintained its peg, and it no longer has to provide any kind of attestation for its backing. And there are problems with USDC. There are problems with all of them. BUSD is being targeted by regulators, which is creating problems for the BUSD supply. So you've got over 100 billion, maybe nearing $200 billion worth of stablecoins. And if you want to stay in a decentralized economy and any part of your plan relies on stablecoins to do that, you have to make really good choices about which ones you're going to use and how they're backed. And unfortunately, if you want cash backing or fiat-based backing or institutional paper backing, you have to look at where they're holding their reserves. And it's frustrating. But we don't have a proper over-collateralized stablecoin based on Bitcoin. It's crazy. Bitcoin's been around for how long? And we don't have that. Still. No Bitcoin-based stablecoin. And everyone says, well, it defeats the purpose. It should just be Bitcoin itself. Yeah, but we don't walk around with pre-1962 silver dimes in our pockets to go and barter with silver, do we? That would be, in a way, the equivalent in terms of its fluctuating value. And right now, Bitcoin's over $30,000 temporarily, but if and when it retraces, and I think that it will before it has its massive run up, it may go back down to that value buy range that I've indicated on our chart. I'd love to just bring that up one more time, guys. I mean, these are the receipts. I want you to keep them. Keep me honest. But this value buy range that we have identified here, the below $14,500 mark, and I'm going to zoom out even more. We've got that line written all the way down to about 12,500. Crypto Blood, Jerry Rucker, he agrees with me that we're going to see potentially down to, he's calling for 12.6. You got characters like Richard Hart that are saying 11,000. I think it's going to wick down to that area. I don't think it's going to stay there for very long and have a lot of bottom support. I don't think it's going to stay there for very long at all. But this range, somewhere in this range, I firmly believe we're going to go back to there at some point before we see a parabolic run up. Right now, these chopsticks, they're great to give us a little bit of a short-term view of what's possible. But I don't think that as a pattern that can hold, right? I certainly don't have the technical analysis chops to figure out a better way of setting targets for this in the midterm.
It's hard to say. I mean, it depends, I think, on what's going to happen to Binance. It depends on where things go with BRICS. There's just a lot of different global factors at play right now.
Yeah. BRICS is an absolute gut punch. And so you're right. Shifting value. The John Germain says, Redsker, thank you for the reminder, John Germain. This is not intended to be advice. It really isn't. This is totally this is me taking an unsophisticated view at charts and just admitting that it's an unsophisticated view at charts and explaining my methodology for how I look at charts. But you're right. Not meant to be advice. It really isn't. I want you to figure out what that means for you. Would you take a different approach? Are you going to try to trade the chop? Are you going to try to figure out how to set some kind of targets based on the current price action? I think I think people would be crazy to try to set up targets right now in the current markets. And I think they have been for a while, unless you're okay with losing money, right? I really think that's a distinction between people who can trade right now and people who maybe shouldn't. That said, we're burning valuable time on today's live stream. We've got to get ready to go be in New York later on today, and we'll be there for the remainder of the week. So if you're in the area, please do hit me up. Please do come out to the Manhattan area. We don't have to actually go to the trade show, but there are a lot of after events, and so if you're there in the area, let me know, and we'll meet up for sure. There's so many live events, and we'd love to see you in person if you're in the region. Probably worth an afternoon trip, and just getting out to New York City for a day or two if you can. But yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. There's a value buy range that we never hit, and that tells me that we did not fully reach the levels of despair that we needed to in order for Bitcoin to have its proper recovery. I think that we're going to come back to this area that we got real close, and that was probably a phenomenal buy right there. But I was saying that anything in this range was a decent buy, wasn't I? Mm-hmm. Yeah, below $40,000. In the future, I think you're probably going to be happy with that, but it's going to take a while for it to come back above $40,000 and for you to be happy with it. So anyway, take that with a grain of salt. Got more news. Speaking of Tether and stablecoins, more news about them. The Tether community. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Crypto community criticizes Tether for blacklisting wallet that drained 20 million from MEV bots.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of that does probably Greek to you, yeah?
A lot of that went over my head.
Okay, no worries. So let's start with this one. We'll go in reverse order. MEV bots. And MEV stands for maximum extractable value. And this is a bit of a misnomer. Before the Ethereum merge, some people were calling it miner extracted value, meaning that they thought that the crypto miners were stealing value from the network by deciding how to order the transactions in each Ethereum block. Miners, of course, they get paid the fees in order to put transactions into each block. We've seen this on TX Street, right? Where you see little buses and all the transactions going in and stuff.
South Park buses.
The South Park buses. And it's supposed to be the miners' jobs. And now the validators' jobs, now that we're in proof of stake, the validator's job to decide which transactions go into which bus and then decide, okay, you don't want to pay that fee, you're going to go to a later bus. Well, there's another layer that's not pictured there. And that is flash bots. And that is what they call it, sandwich attacks, where these MEV bots, like you see in the headline right there, those MEV bots, they can decide exactly who goes into which bus, and they can arbitrage value from the gas fee marketplace in deciding, okay, this is going to go there, that's going to go there, that's going to go there, that's going to go there. Without providing any other value, they can just pull fees out of the system. Pretty ingenious, actually. But it is a problem because basically they're like middlemen. We pay them for no good reason. They extract value for no good reason. There's really no good reason to allow that kind of behavior on Ethereum, but it exists. And there was a wallet that attacked one of these MEV bots and drained their wallet of $20 million. Oof. It's kind of a Robin Hood story, where they found them and they were like, all right, F you guys. Took them for $20 million. And then Tether blacklisted the wallet of the attackers who drained those funds. Oh. Right? So kind of crazy, right? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Only in crypto. Pretty fun. So yeah, pretty fun and intriguing, right? But apparently, yeah, $20 million stolen and $20 million frozen by USDT or by Tether. So, and it was a validator. Did it. So apparently $25 million. There you go. Hey, they're finally calling it the right thing. Maximal extractable value. And April 3rd, they executed a sandwich trade. Blacklist address exploited a bug in the MEV boost relay to back run the bot's transactions and stole 3 million Tether and 22 million in ERC20 tokens. With the blacklisting, Tether has now frozen the 3 million USDT from the exploit. So that's where there's an issue there. Polygon co-founder Jay Janti described the incident as a bad precedent, while on-chain sleuth Zach XBT called it disappointing. And Zach XBT is normally a character that tries to call out scams.
Right.
But these people are basically saying that it kind of gives the name of decentralization a black eye. When you start saying, well, we'll allow that much misbehavior from the MEV bots, but you can't go stealing from them. That's why would you do that? Well, why would Tether do that? Why would Tether go and blacklist that address? Is it possible that they were involved?
Oh.
Were they complicit in the MEV attack?
Oh my.
In the first place, right? Were they, are there stakeholders in both Tether or stakeholders in some of the other holdings that also are part of this MEV attack? It's always possible.
Yeah.
Paul D is saying, so don't touch any stablecoin. Got it. It's really, I mean, practically, yeah. I think there's maybe one or two that I would touch. Liquidity USD, so LUSD, I might maybe consider, but it's getting really treacherous out there for sure. So bot victims signed this transaction, sent them back to the relay. They were executed. The exploit wasn't in DeFi. Tether's block implies that they have an opinion on ETH's consensus and social layer, right? Nobody asked them to do this. There was no law enforcement directive, no subpoena, nothing from the FBI or from Interpol. They just chose to go out and block this address. Kind of suspect. But moving on, Razer, the video game company accessory maker, they make, keyboards, mice, headsets, all kinds of other stuff. They are funding Web3 gaming projects through a new incubator called Z Ventures Web3 Incubator. That's so ZW3I. And I think this is brilliant. I think it's great that they're choosing to build in what looks to be the most dire part of the bear market for Web3 gaming and for metaverse business interests. Now, do I think that metaverse is going to be the right play for most companies? No, not for most. Do I think it's going to be a good play for companies that are already established in gaming? Well, yeah, I think it's brilliant. So I'm glad to see them take it seriously. They said that they'll focus on providing marketing support, will incubate up to 36 projects, and not exclude mobile games, despite being a PC gaming focused company. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Excited to see what they do, and excited to see who they partner with in terms of those marketing interests. And then last bit of news. You mind?
Bitcoin no longer looking boring after breaking 30K for first time since June of 2022. What's fueling the surge?
Well, very quickly, Richard Miko, the U.S. CEO, Chief Legal Officer of Banksa, says that this is due to the expectations of a slowdown in economic growth and a subsequent loosening of monetary policy by the Federal Reserve throughout 2023. Said the bond market provides evidence for this assertion, predicting that Bitcoin will continue to be the best performing asset of 2023. The cryptocurrency market as a whole is experiencing a positive trend, with all non-stablecoin cryptocurrencies in the top 20 currently in the green. ETH, XRP, Cardano, and Solana have experienced gains of 3, 2, 4, and even 7%, respectively. Oh, Samson now, like a bad penny, keeps turning up. Former CISO of Blockstream says they threw everything they had at Bitcoin, and then we just went right back to 30K. Can't stop the inevitable. Well, Samson is a permabull, so that's to be expected. I don't know. Mind Your Biz community, what do you think? Let's see. Gandhi says 10% to the big guy. And Paul comments, the MEV bots are a stakeholder. People aren't allowed to steal from stakeholders. Good stuff there. I think you're largely correct. I think that also that sums it up as far as the news that we wanted to comment on today. Mrs. Mind Your Biz, got anything for the community before we go?
Stay safe out there.
Yeah, it is a madhouse. You got all these folks coming after your stables, all these folks coming after your cryptos, all these folks trying to tax your NFTs at unreasonable rates, but clearly there are ways to get past that. Tell you what should we try to commit to one more piece of media this week? We're going to be shooting some stuff while we're in NYC. Maybe we just post-produce it.
Yeah, maybe that.
Okay, there you go. We'll try to upload something while we're in New York. And again, if you're in the area, tag me on Twitter. Tag Mrs. Mind Your Biz on Twitter. It's just Weeby Mimi over there on Twitter. Tag one of us. Let us know you're going to be in the area. Let us know what events you're going to, and we'd love to see you in person. If not, we will see you next time. Bye. I have to wait a second before I cut the stream. Otherwise RTMP is weird. The internet is weird. These protocols are weird.